We're at the one-to-one conference today in Cape Town. Now, there's a lot of miners, a lot of investors that are here. The general sentiment within the marketplace, what's your general feeling?
Sentiment's surprisingly good. I mean, we've had a collapse in the market with the virus situation in China, and we're worried about that. I'm worried about that. But actually, the guys here are looking through it. We're talking about further quantitative easing, further construction, particularly in China. There's going to be a lot of rebuilding. We know there's a lot of new infrastructure coming in the UK, and it will come in the US. And we've been talking about that. What are the metals that people are going to need for that going forward? And we've been talking about technology. We've been talking about batteries and fuel cells. And the mining companies, they're looking for what should they be moving into? Where do they allocate the resources? And the investors equally saying, well, where do we put the money? Where are we going with this? Should we be investing in cobalt or lithium, nickel or tin? And there's so much of that going on, and it's great because there are more angles to talk about, and actually there's a lot more new money coming in new funds. Some of those are probably environmentally focused as well, with a social aspect to it. But a lot of people are saying that we have an electric vehicle revolution coming at us fast. It's going to have some ups and downs, but where do we really want to position ourselves?
I think it's a very interesting comment that you talk about that whole ESG element that's there. There's two elements of it, obviously, when you talk about electric vehicles, and that's the end element, but also there's a front end element, which is companies and how they're dealing with it. Any comments around that?
Well, most companies are avoiding coal. Now we need coal to generate electricity, and let's face it, if you can't turn the lights on and you can't power your iPhone, you're going to go back to coal pretty fast. But for now, everyone's saying, well, okay, how do we store the power that we generate from solar and from wind? What do we need what metals do we need for the turbines? How do we make everything more efficient? When we store the power, what sort of batteries are we using? We're going to be using lithium ion, lithium sulfur, vanadium redox. There's a few different combinations of stuff. How's that going to get financed? What's the best way to do it? If you look at a company like Bushveld Minerals, how are they going to finance the 1,000 tons of vanadium to turn into electrolyte to go into the batteries? The Minister of Energy here said yesterday that they were going to allow companies to generate their own electricity. Great move for South Africa. That's really going to help companies like Bushveld get ahead with their mini-grid project. Other miners are going to bring in their own energy, and a lot of it will be solar and wind. These guys don't want to go onto polluting energy sources. They want to be green, they want to be environmental, they want to be social, and they want to be responsible.
And the more traditional companies, so a lot of what you're talking about is the lithium, the cobalt, etc. The more traditional companies, the gold, the tins, etc. that's there, how do they fit into the mix?
Well, I don't think there is such a thing as a traditional mining company. Traditional mining people tend to become dinosaurs. Everyone in this industry is forward-looking. They're really into how do they make things more efficient, how do they save energy, how do they reduce costs. And if you don't do that, you might not survive the next downturn whenever that comes. This doesn't feel like a downturn. This feels like we're just getting ready for an upward trajectory as the world says we're going electric.
Now, SP Angel, you are one of the sponsors of the event today. How's it been?
It's been nice, actually. I gotta say it. We've had the world's biggest funds coming to us. We've had lovely, congenial conversations. We've been talking about, well, what's the positioning about? Where should we be? What ideas have we got for the companies in the sector? And I've got to say, it's been a pleasure.
Super. Well, John, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.